Hello there. You are listening to the Light FM's Girl Talk podcast. My name is Carol.
This is Alicia.
I'm Tricia.
And we are so glad that you are here. We hope the next 15 minutes or so will be like kind of a spa treatment for your soul. How's that?
I need a good spa day.
Exfoliation of the bad stuff and moisturizing the good stuff. Oh, yeah.
I love it. No, seriously, though, how do we get more rest? It's interesting that we would bring up this topic because right before we started the podcast, it came up on my phone that I have a sleep debt of 17.9%.
Oh.
So
what does that mean, a sleep debt?
A sleep debt means like you're not getting enough sleep. Oh. Like I have an app on my phone that measures my sleep.
It tells on you.
I have a sleep debt.
Yeah, I don't want to know that information.
Yeah, I think I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah, that's the way to cure that.
Because it's early in the week. And 17.9 times 4 is probably not going to end well for me. But it does it, and it gives you this like readiness score about how ready you are for the day.
Oh, I don't want that information.
I know, me either.
I really don't.
Is ignorance bliss in that situation?
I think so. Like if you wake up and your readiness score is bad, then you're like mentally you're going to think
it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
Well, but then
I
have
don't
a little
think
extra
that's a
coffee.
good thing.
I have a Fitbit that does the same thing. It gives me a sleep score. I got 81 today. I've never
That's a
gotten
B, isn't it?
That's not
I've
very
never
good.
gotten more than 87 in my
Really?
entire existence of having the Fitbit.
Well, maybe the Fitbit grade's on a curve, so maybe that's an A in Fitbit world.
Well, I guess because I haven't gotten anything over 87, but I got 81 today, which I felt good about. But I thought I slept well. I wake up, I check the thing, 76.
But you get up.
I
You
got
get
a
up
bad-
in the middle of the night, though. Don't
Bad
you?
paper. Well, I have to. I stay hydrated throughout the day, and I'm getting a little older, Lish. Thanks. Yeah, I get up a few
Get all
times.
the details. I was being nice.
Okay.
But that would affect your score if you
It did.
physically are getting
It
up.
does.
It's like
If it takes you time to go back. Yeah, I
Yeah.
spend an hour and 5 minutes awake during my whole sleep time. That's almost always because it breaks it down and it'll say this much deep sleep, this much light sleep, this much REM, and this much awake time. And I spend at least an hour to an hour and 10 minutes awake during the time, which affects my score.
Yes.
And then I wake up and I'm trying to like gear up for the day when I got a 77.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be grounded. I got a low
right.
C or
I got
whatever.
a C on my report card.
But I do think people are not sleeping as well right
true.
now. There's a lot of stress going on, and people are waking up in the middle of the night.
Going to
and,
the bathroom and stuff.
They're getting older and having hot flashes and all that stuff. So I tell you,
Shoving the
I have
blankets
to.
off.
Yeah, I have to tell you that this has been one of the greatest areas that you, especially Tricia, has been so encouraging to me because just the whole way that you helped me to think of exercise. I, in a lot of ways, of all my life, thought of exercise as kind of like a punishment.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
this
still
is
in the punishment
a
phase.
duty.
like this is your punishment for eating peanut M&Ms,
Oh,
right? Specifically.
okay.
So you have to go out and run because you ate peanut M&Ms. And I think there was a quote we found online or something somewhere that said, basically turned that on its ear and said, punishment is a reward. And you have said that like it's me time, you know.
Say that again?
Like it's not punishment, it's actually a reward. Exercise is a reward.
How is exercise a reward?
Tell her.
Well,
I need this.
Yeah.
because
I
it
need to write
gives you-
exercise.
It's a reward.
It's a
because
reward.
It gives you more than it
Do
takes.
I need to write
from you.
sentences?
Just little bullet points. Be careful, I'm gonna give you a 77.
to make.
No, it gives you more than it takes. So if you think about what you're getting from exercise, not what you're having to give to the exercise, you'll see that
okay.
it benefits you so much. And here's a quick way of doing that. Like identify how you feel before you exercise. Maybe, okay, I'm feeling tired or I've got a 77, my energy score. And then go do the exercise that you were thinking to. Get on the elliptical or take that 12-minute walk. And then ask yourself again, honestly, how do I feel? And I am guessing that 98% of the time, I'm big in numbers today, you're going to feel so much better.
Yeah.
And if you do that consistently, you start to realize what exercise is giving you and how it's benefiting you. And then it no longer is a duty, it is a delight.
Yes. And that's that was a game changer for me because once you helped me to think through that, it's like I kind of started looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And to know that I don't have to spend 6 hours in a gym every day. Like, if 30 minutes is all I can do, then do 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than nothing. If 10 minutes is all you can do 10 minutes. Anything is better than nothing. And that kind of like shifted my whole perspective of like, oh, I get to do this, not I have to do this.
It's
Because
a game changer.
it had always been like a punishment for me. And now it's one of those things that I look forward to. Even my teenager will say, Mom, I think you need to go for a run. I'm like, oh, stress level's been a little bit higher today, and I've been a little bit more snappy. So she'll even recognize that in me. So I'll put the headphones in and get me some good tunes going, and I'll go out for a walk or a run. And it really does make you a better mom and a better employee and a better friend, because you can naturally get rid of some of that stress.
If you think your stress level is up here, like, head level.
Yeah.
If you exercise and you put a little bit of effort into it, you will almost always see it go down, significantly down. And so then, I mean, it's not like it takes everything away, because I don't want to paint that picture,
Sure.
because it doesn't. But it just makes things more manageable.
Mm-hmm.
You just feel like I can attack this thing now instead of it's attacking me.
Right.
Also, you mentioned, Carol, if you don't have 30 minutes, why even do it? The idea of accumulating exercise, number one, what you said was like, any exercise is better than no exercise. 7 minutes is better than 0 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can accumulate your exercise, your body appreciates that. You do 3 10-minute walks, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. That's your body said, "Oh, I got a 30-minute walk today."
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's so
That was
good for
very
you.
helpful to me, because there was a few weeks where I was exercising and I started with 10 minutes. And I told my husband, because we were both trying to get on this same path. And I said, do 10 minutes. And if I didn't do the 10 minutes in the morning, it was harder for me to do 10 or 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
But if I got just 10 minutes in, my numbers were like, okay, I'm already at 2,000 steps.
Yeah,
Right.
It's
For the day.
encouraging.
It was very encouraging. And I didn't see a benefit, though, so I stopped doing it. So I'm trying to get back to
Change
it.
your mind to what a benefit is.
Hey, okay.
That's it.
Ride this. Go,
Yes.
go.
The
Tell
scale
her.
did not show me the benefit, and so I was
That's
like,
it.
this didn't work.
Get her.
It's getting wacky in here.
Get her.
Yeah, no, the benefit is not always the numbers on the scale. The
Yeah.
benefit is not always, did the jeans fit? The benefit is not always, did someone compliment me? The benefit is how you feel.
Yeah.
How you feel. That is so much better of a barometer than the numbers on the scale, which can be water, can be, whatever.
So here's what I told Tricia, and we talked about this. When I was trying to change things in my life, I'd lost probably about 20 pounds. Nobody said a word.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything at all.
Yeah.
And I was so frustrated. And we had this very conversation. And you know what? Here's the thing. And I tell people this, and they look at you like like you're crazy. But it is so the truth. When it stopped being about the weight for me is when I started losing weight.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like as long as I focused on that each and every day, I was not. I was just plateaued. Couldn't lose the weight. But when it stopped being about weight for me, that's when I started to lose, because I started making choices that were better for my body. And I was like when I'd sit down to a meal, and we can talk about this and caring for yourself, eating the right foods. I mean, if you eat junk, you're going to feel like junk.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's
You
so
know,
true.
I'm like, yes, I would love a half gallon of ice cream, and
Yeah.
sit down and eat how do you feel after you eat the half gallon? I feel like crap, but I mean, I'm not supposed to say crap on this. It's a podcast. I can say that.
I think
I'm
you
sorry.
can.
Anyway, you're an adult. Write a letter. So I felt bad, you know? And so after that, I would feel bad for eating the ice cream. And it's just goes
Spiral down.
Yeah,
boom,
yeah.
boom, boom.
But
boom,
if
boom.
I look at something
and then
and
there's
say,
more ice cream.
yes.
Yeah.
And then I look at that and say, you know what? I'm going to make a healthy choice because I want to feel good and I want to fuel my body for whatever it is I have to do today. That's when it started, like the weight started coming off, because all of a sudden it wasn't about tenths of a pound anymore. It was about making one good choice and another good choice and another good choice and another good choice.
See how important it is what we're thinking.
Yeah,
If
so
you're
true.
thinking about exercise negatively, if you're thinking about it like some chore, if you're thinking about it like the means to get into that pair of jeans for the reunion or whatever it is, it's going to feel terrible. And then you may do it, like the behavior follows, you may do it, but you're not going to enjoy it, and then you're not going to choose to do it the next time. Think about it differently. See it as something that you're choosing to do for you, and see if you don't have a behavior that follows that more positive thought. Here's a good way to tell how you're thinking about exercise. do you do it on your vacation?
Mm.
I can't wait to get on vacation. That means 7 days of exercise.
Yeah.
But other people are like, well, I'm not going to exercise on my vacation. Why would I do that? Well, you've got all this time.
Right.
This is the time that you're choosing to do what you want to do. And so that's a good indicator of kind of where you are. And if you're there, don't beat yourself up, but just try to sample thinking a little bit differently about it.
Right.
See if you can't identify a positive thing that would come from the exercise that's not necessarily appearance or weight related, and see if that doesn't help you.
Yeah.
And also see if you are struggling with something, take a walk, and 10 minutes later, see how you feel about that struggle.
Yeah.
I promise you it will change. And I only say that because it has for me. If I am really having a down day and I go for a run, 150% of the time I feel much better when I get back. 150% of the
Good
time.
odds.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But if I just sit and think about how bad I'm feeling, I feel worse.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
So for
I
me,
think it's getting to that decision point of I feel bad and not wallowing and deciding to do the exercise.
so I have a psychology game with myself. I use reverse psychology on myself all the time, and I'm doing it. So I should know that I'm using it.
Okay.
For me, it's my tennis shoes. If I put on my tennis shoes, I'm going to work out.
When I was
Yep.
doing it, I was getting dressed. I had the tennis shoes on.
Yep.
I had little cute leggings on.
Cute leggings
that
are important.
Were
They
but
are.
it did. It
They
made me
are.
feel
Don't
like
makes you
I
feel
was
better.
like
It
sporty, and it was
Yes.
more. It physically was also more comfortable
Yes.
when I was walking and
Right.
trying to run a tiny bit. But when I had that on, I did it.
Yep.
And then if I kept it on, like I changed my shoes, but I kept my shoes next to my desk.
Yep.
And so later in the day when I had a little bit of time, I just swapped my shoes out and went and did it again.
Yep.
So, okay, I need to go start doing that again.
Okay.
I could talk all
Accountability.
day on this. I'm not
I
gonna
know.
Go on and on about it, but I mean, I'm like,
It's
yeah,
good.
Yeah, you make an appointment with yourself. You don't ask yourself how you feel about it. You start it and then start to identify how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Don't give yourself the out clause. Put it in your planner. At 4:00, I go for the walk, or whatever it is for you. But if you make the schedule for it, you're more likely to keep it. And don't ask yourself how you feel about it, because you might not want to do it.
Yeah,
So
and-
what? Do it anyway.
And I realized, too, that there was a lot of time I was sitting. I was sitting waiting on my daughter to pick her up from dance.
Yeah.
So I found a park near where she goes to dance.
Oh,
And
yeah, you can do
while she's at dance, I go, even if it's 20 minutes. I mean,
Right.
no matter how small a
Well,
time.
when I was counting my steps and trying to hit a goal,
yeah.
that's the other thing I was actively doing, because I'm like, okay, I have a few minutes, because Tricia always, you guys don't know this probably, but Tricia in meetings or different things, even on our Zoom calls, she'll get up and she'll stand and I'm getting my
hit my
steps
numbers,
in.
people.
But that was a good reminder for me. And so I was doing that at home a
Yeah.
lot. I was getting up and I was doing loops in my office and just going up and down the steps a few more times. And you know what? Okay, here's something. So I am not where you guys are, but this was something I noticed when I was trying to hit my steps. I didn't mind having to go upstairs to go get something that I had forgotten.
Yeah.
So my home office is in the basement. So I actually have 3 flights of stairs to get back up to my bedroom.
Yep.
So days I would forget my phone and I can't log into my computer without my phone. I was like, And then I'm like, no, this is an opportunity to get more steps.
Now you're getting the idea of benefit.
Yeah. So I did
Different
turn
benefit.
that around a little
Yeah.
bit, but I just got away from it for a couple of weeks, and I need to. You guys have encouraged me to do it to
It's like
try
a
it
reset.
again.
Yeah.
And it helps, as you mentioned, you make that good choice, then you start to make better choices.
Yep.
Like, well, I'm not going to eat this cheeseburger now because I had that walk. I feel like eating like a salad. I'm going a little extreme.
Impossible
But it
Whopper.
does. That's right. Just right in the middle. But I think that you will find, at least I have found, that if I make one healthy choice, one self-care choice, I will make another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
That's good. I like that.
There's lots of good stuff in here. So rest, we all know we need more rest. Find little pockets to rest. We all know we need exercise. We all know we need to eat right. Those are all things. But I just want to for just a second, just hone in on the spiritual aspect of this too. Because I was out in the garden the other day pulling weeds, and I was kind of like begrudging weeds because I hate weeds.
Oh, I can't stand weeds.
And I'm like, Lord, what is the deal with weeds? Like, why'd you make
Yeah.
weeds? Of all the things you could have made, and that you did make, which are great, but why are weeds, and I just felt like in the quietness of my heart for a moment, God say, because there are some things that need to be tended to regularly. And your spiritual life is one of those.
Yeah.
And I think we would be amiss if we didn't mention that spiritual piece of this, because we want you to be whole, not only in body and mind, but in spirit as well.
Absolutely.
And that spiritual weed will grow quicker than any of these other things. You quarantine 15, ain't got nothing on the spiritual weeds that can grow just so quickly. And that's why daily time in God's word and in prayer is so important. And no matter where you start, I mean, even if you listen to this and you don't do anything every day, you just kind of wait and see what happens, do the same thing. Set an appointment with God. Even if it's, on your drive to work or while you're doing your lunch break, if you read a devotion, get some time in God's word every day and listen to what he has to say, because now more than ever before, I think it's important to take care of yourself spiritually as well as physically and mentally.
I think the weeds go into our mind, the negative thoughts, and that can kill everything good that's blooming and blossoming. So replacing those thoughts that are holding you back, that are choking you out, with thoughts of God, with promises from God's word, that is how I've been helping myself with self-care. And you're so right. You can do everything right physically and still not flourish if you're not working on yourself spiritually and growing your relationship with God and with Jesus.
Yep.
And you can do it while you exercise.
You can.
Absolutely you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
This
that's
is our
yeah.
the
I was
station.
doing it during
Yeah.
devotion
I love it.
time.
You were doing what?
I was on the treadmill
Oh.
during devotion. So I was watching the devotion while I was on the. So I was.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and it happened at the same time every day, so it was very helpful.
I have friends who prayer walk their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And so
It's
they
a great way to start the day.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy starting the day that way, of just getting in the right mindset and then
Yep.
physically getting the day started. It was good.
Yeah.
Doing it tomorrow.
Yes, I'm going to do it tomorrow.
All right. We have so enjoyed hanging out with you today on the Girl Talk podcast, and we hope you'll take some of these challenges. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to email us, we just do the happy dance every time you send us an email. So go ahead and type that email out. girltalk@thelightfm.org is our email address. And we will see you next time we gather around these microphones for the next Girl Talk podcast.